Everybody has to be standing up. What we found out a long time ago is it is easier to run from the standing position than the seated position.
Please stay in the circle. Thank you. Please stay in the circle.
The cattle, the Longhorns, normally will walk right down the middle of the road, but sometimes they like to walk right down the middle of the sidewalk. So you think about their horns being 6 foot tip to tip, there's not a whole lot of room up there for you. So everybody has to be standing up. You have to be back up off the curb, be on out of the street. Don't lean over and take pictures. They do not run at a blistering speed, so they'll be by here in just a minute, and you'll get plenty of time to take photos of them. Also, if you have a dog, please make sure you keep it on a leash and keep it under control. We don't want to spook the cattle. Things we have going on here tonight in the stockyards, and don't miss the PBR Stockyards Showcase for action-packed bull riding tonight at 7:30 p.m. right here at the Cowtown Coliseum. Right down here at the very end over here on the right-hand side. You can get your tickets at cowtowncoliseum.com, or you can go by the Coliseum box office and get your tickets there. 7:30 tonight, professional bull riding, PBR Showcase. Also, well, I'm from here, born and raised in Fort Worth. I'd like to know where everybody else is from. So if you're from Fort Worth, on the count of 3, give me a big yee-haw. 1, 2, 3.
Yeehaw!
I'm glad you 7 people showed up today. Bring a friend next time. If you're from the great state of Texas, outside of the Fort Worth area, on the count of 3, give me a big yee-haw. 1, 2, 3. Yeehaw! Better. If you're from the United States of America, outside of the great state of Texas, on the count of 3, give me a big yee-haw. 1, 2, 3. Yeehaw! That's awesome. If you're from another country, on the count of 3, let me get a big yee-haw from you. 1, 2, 3. Yeehaw! All right. We have people from all over the world here for about the next 10 minutes. You all get to be Texans. Participate in our cattle drive by standing right where you're at. Off the street. Standing up. If you think you're going to be coming back, if you're here locally and you know you're going to be around here, or you're going to plan another trip here, I would say the best thing to do is sign up for the Heritage Club. It's a free fan club. You can sign up at fortworthstockyards.com. They get out information to what's going on down here. It is a great way to plan a weekend, to know all the events going on. fortworthstockyards.com. This is the cattle drive you're here to watch. After the cattle drive is over, everybody's going to be parched. You're going to be thirsty. Make your way over here to the Livestock Exchange lawn. Make your way over to the Pendleton Whiskey Bar. There's lots to drink over there. You'll be able to quench your thirst from this long, dusty cattle drive you're participating in today. So go to Pendleton Bar. All right, so you're all out here to see our cattle drives. So the cattle drives all started right after the Civil War, 1866. The war was over, the country was devastated. What they did not have up in the Northeast was cattle to feed people. What we had down south, down below San Antonio, was about 10 million Longhorns. If you sold one Longhorn down in San Antonio area, you get about $4 a head. If you could get it to the nearest railhead, you could get about $45 a head. The nearest railhead was Abilene, Kansas. San Antonio's 400 miles south, Abilene's 400 miles north. Begin to walk up the Chisholm Trail, and you're standing on the Chisholm Trail. All the cattle drives, it was the largest migration of domestic animals in United States history. Over about a 20-year period, close to 5 million Longhorns walked right through this area where you're standing. Big cattle drives. These cattle drives were not 200 or 300 head of cattle. There were 2,500 to 3,000 head of cattle. The cattle drives could be 2 miles wide by about 5 miles long. You had drovers. You call them cowboys, we call them drovers. They were driving the cattle all the way to Abilene. 800 miles. Fort Worth sitting perfectly in the middle. We had good grasslands here. We had good water sources here. Now the cattle that are moving up, you're going to see today are our Longhorns. Most of the Longhorns, their horns are about 6 foot tip to tip. There are 2 brothers, you're going to see them walking along. Their horns are close to 10 foot long. These are Longhorn steers. They normally follow where their leader's taking them, and their leaders of the drovers is what we call a trail boss. So the trail boss knows the way. He can take care of any issues amongst his groups. He also normally has a point man. On either side of the cattle, you have swingmen. So if the point man takes them in one direction, the swingmen make sure they make the circle and get that direction where they're going. Outside of that, you have flankmen. And in the very back, you have a position that was everybody seemed to want to be, because nothing like going from South Texas to Kansas in the summertime behind 3,000 head of cattle. That position was called the drag man. Because man, that was a drag. Behind 3,000 head of cattle. I mean, if you take here, this part of the country, this past summer we had 55 days over 100 degrees. So it gets kind of warm here. Imagine being behind 3,000 head of cattle. So as they traveled north, right through this area right here, 1871, 600,000 head of cattle walked right through here. So our drovers are all very special at what they do. They range from ages of about 15 to 25. The youngest one ever recorded taking the trip on the Chisholm Trail was a 9-year-old boy. Now you're going to see that these guys here are not dressed for style. They're dressed for utility. They all wear big cowboy hats, big broad brim hats that protect themselves from the sun, protect themselves from the rain. They'll all have on bandanas to protect themselves from all the weather, all of the dirt that's flying in the air. A lot of them wear vests, give themselves extra pockets to put things in. You're going to see that they wear breeches. They don't wear blue jeans, they wear breeches. All handmade, homemade breeches were really nice and thick. In case they got off in the briars, you'll see that they also wear high boots. Some of them wear chaps, but the most important thing that the cowboys had is that they were wearing their saddle. We're glad you're here today. Welcome to Fort Worth. Enjoy the cattle drive.
Howdy, cowboys and cowgirls, and welcome to the Fort Worth Herd Cattle Drive. I'm Derek Corbin. Once upon a time, Stockyards, right where you're standing, was filled with cattlemen and cowmen. Cattle were driven by men and women on horseback called drovers, with wide-brimmed hats and dirt on their boots. 150 years ago, this was their last stop for the Longhorn, over 500 miles of rugged land to Kansas. Fort Worth was the drovers' last chance to buy supplies, enjoy a good meal, and kick up their heels before months of beans and hardtack and sleeping under the stars. Today you'll catch a glimpse of that fast, but the herd is more than a spectacle. It's a reminder of Fort Worth's Western heritage, of the cowboy grit and rugged independence so ingrained in the Texas spirit. That spirit is still here, and you are a part of it. So be sure and take the hat and say howdy as the Texas Longhorns pass by with our drovers. In the stockyards, every day is a new adventure, and it starts right here with the Fort Worth Herd.